10 things you should never do when you get up. Stoicism, wisdom for living. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. These words from one of the greatest Stoic philosophers remind us that every morning is a new opportunity, a fresh start, and a chance to shape our day with intention and purpose. But how often do we actually seize that opportunity? Or do we let our morning slip away with habits that set us off on the wrong foot? Welcome to Stoic in Your Life. Today we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us, the first few moments after we wake up. These moments might seem small, but they can dictate the tone of your entire day. Inspired by Stoicism, we're uncovering 10 things you should never do when you get up. Why? Because the Stoics believed that the way we start our day can influence our thoughts, actions, and overall well-being. If you've ever woken up feeling anxious, distracted, or just out of sync, you're not alone. But there's a better way. By understanding what not to do, you can set yourself up for a day rooted in clarity, focus, and tranquility. So, if you're ready to transform your mornings and bring a Stoic mindset into your life, right from the moment you open your eyes, stay with me. Let's explore these 10 morning missteps and learn how to replace them with wisdom, calm, and strength. 1. Don't check your phone immediately. Mornings are a delicate, sacred time, a period where the mind is still calm and untainted by the stresses of the day. However, many of us sabotage this golden hour by immediately reaching for our phones as soon as we wake up. This habit might seem harmless, but it can have a significant impact on how your day unfolds. Today, we're going to dive into the first of the 10 things you should never do when you get up, and why avoiding this simple action could transform your mornings and, ultimately, your life. So stay with me as we explore how small, intentional changes can lead to a more stoic, balanced, and fulfilling day. Don't check your phone immediately. This may sound like a trivial piece of advice, but it's rooted in profound wisdom. When you wake up, your mind is in a state of transition from rest to alertness. It's during these first few minutes of your day that your brain is most receptive, absorbing the world around it and setting the tone for everything that follows. By instantly reaching for your phone, you're allowing the outside world to dictate your mood, thoughts, and priorities before you've even had a moment to collect yourself. Notifications, emails, and messages pull you into a reactive state, distracting you from what really matters and setting a tone of chaos, anxiety, and urgency. Imagine a man like Seneca, one of the great Stoic minds, waking up to immediately see a flood of messages and urgent tasks. He would be overwhelmed before his day even began. That's not the Stoic way. Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And that's exactly what happens when you check your phone first thing in the morning. You end up worrying about things that aren't even in your control yet. Instead of starting your day centered, you become a slave to the digital world, reacting to emails, social media posts, and news alerts that you didn't plan to see. It's like opening your front door to a stampede of distractions the moment you wake up. You haven't even had a moment to breathe, reflect, or decide what your priorities are. The modern world is fast-paced, but that doesn't mean your mornings have to be. There's power in reclaiming those first few minutes of your day for yourself. When you wake up, resist the urge to grab your phone. Instead, take a moment to breathe deeply, stretch, or even recite a mantra or affirmation that sets a positive intention for the day. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By giving yourself those first few minutes to set your own course, you are exercising control over how you react to the world. You're training your mind to be proactive rather than reactive, calm rather than chaotic. This small act of mindfulness can ripple through your entire day, leading to more focused and deliberate actions. When you make this shift, you'll find that you're more present, more focused, and more capable of handling the challenges that come your way. Think of your morning as the foundation of a house. If the foundation is weak, The whole structure is vulnerable, but if it's strong and well built, it can withstand any storm. The same goes for your mindset. The Stoics believed in cultivating a resilient, calm mind that could weather any adversity. By starting your day without external distractions, you're reinforcing that foundation. You're setting yourself up to approach the day with clarity and strength, not confusion and stress. Now let's relate this to modern life. We live in a world where information is constantly bombarding us, and our phones are like a gateway to everything, from work emails to news updates to social media feeds. But does it truly enrich our lives to start the day bombarded by information we didn't choose? Not really. Instead of opening your phone, open a journal and write down 3 things you're grateful for, or simply sit in silence for a few minutes and focus on your breathing. This allows you to step into the day on your terms, with a sense of calm and intention that no notification can provide. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe, said Marcus Aurelius, and that harmony begins the moment you decide to give yourself the space to wake up, think, and set your intentions for the day. So the next time your alarm goes off and your hand reaches for your phone, stop. Take a breath, let the moment sink in, and resist. This small act of defiance against the pull of distractions will set the stage for a day where you are in control, where your mind is your own, and where your actions are deliberate. This is the essence of a Stoic morning, starting the day. So, the next time your alarm goes off and your hand reaches for your phone, stop, take a breath, let the moment sink in, and resist. This small act of defiance against the pull of distractions will set the stage for a day where you are in control, where your mind is your own, and where your actions are deliberate. This is the essence of a Stoic morning, starting the day with intention, clarity, and purpose. And when you make this a habit, you'll notice a shift, not just in your mornings, but in your entire life. You'll find that by taking control of how your day begins, you take control of how it ends. Remember, it is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. These words of wisdom from Marcus Aurelius remind us that life is too precious to be lived on autopilot, reacting to whatever our phones throw at us. To live is to choose, and the best way to begin each day is by choosing how you want to step into it. So tomorrow, when you wake up, choose calm, choose clarity, choose stoicism, and watch how your life transforms, one peaceful, intentional morning at a time. 2. Don't hit the snooze button repeatedly. We've all been there. The alarm goes off, and instead of getting up, we hit the snooze button, begging for just a few more minutes of sleep. But let me ask you, does those few extra minutes truly help you feel more rested and ready to take on the day? Or does it make you feel even groggier, dragging yourself out of bed with less enthusiasm than before? The truth is, this habit of hitting the snooze button repeatedly does more harm than good, both physically and mentally. Stoicism, the philosophy that teaches us to take control of our lives by mastering our minds, has much to say about how we greet the day. And waking up on time without delay is a principle that's deeply aligned with Stoic thought. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, once said, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for, the things I was brought into the world to do?'" When you choose to hit the snooze button, you're essentially choosing to avoid facing the day. You're postponing reality, delaying your responsibilities, and letting a moment of weakness set the tone for your entire morning. Think about it. When you give in to that urge, you're telling yourself, "I'm not ready to face the world yet," and that message sticks. Your brain starts the day in a state of avoidance, a lack of discipline that can follow you through the rest of your tasks. It's a small act, but it can set off a ripple effect. Instead of waking up with purpose, you start your day negotiating with yourself, allowing excuses to win, and as the Stoics teach, Our greatest battle is within. Every time you hit snooze, you lose a small but significant part of that battle. Let me share a story with you. Imagine a successful entrepreneur who swears by his morning routine. He wakes up at 5 a.m. every day, no matter what. Rain, shine, or weekend, he's up at 5 a.m. because he knows that if he masters his morning, he masters his day. There was a time when he wasn't always like this. He used to be a chronic snoozer, hitting the button 4, 5, sometimes 6 times, and dragging himself out of bed just before he needed to rush out the door. One day he realized that this habit was not just about sleep. It was a metaphor for how he was approaching life. He was avoiding challenges, putting off responsibilities, and delaying his own success. So he made a change. He set his alarm, and he made a promise to himself that when it went off, he would get up. No negotiations, no excuses. And that small change transformed his entire approach to life. Now, he starts his day with a sense of achievement, discipline, and control. And when the world around him seems chaotic, he knows that he has already won his first battle of the day. Why do we feel so tempted to hit snooze, even when we know it's not helping us? The answer lies in how our brains work. When you go back to sleep after your alarm goes off, you enter another sleep cycle. But here's the thing. That sleep is not the deep, restful kind that restores your body and mind. Instead, it's fragmented, and it actually leaves you feeling more groggy when you finally get up. That's why those extra 9 minutes can make you feel worse than if you'd just gotten up with the first alarm. So, every time you hit snooze, you're robbing yourself of a clear, energetic start to the day. The Stoics believed in preparing oneself for whatever life might throw at us. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it, that matters." When your alarm rings, how do you react? Do you face the call to start your day, or do you shy away from it? We live in a world that often glorifies the hustle and constant activity, yet many of us struggle to start our days with intention. The reality is, your day begins not when you leave the house, but the moment your alarm goes off. That's when you have the choice, to meet the day with purpose or to shrink back into the comfort of your bed. Consider it a metaphor for life. Every morning you're given the opportunity to rise and take on your goals, or to delay and defer, letting your dreams and aspirations wait on the sidelines. When you choose to get up on time, you're telling yourself, "I'm ready for whatever comes my way today." You are setting a tone of discipline, courage, and readiness. Think about a warrior preparing for battle. He does not snooze. He rises with purpose, knowing that the fight awaits him. So, how do you break the habit of hitting snooze? Start by placing your alarm across the room, so you have to physically get out of bed to turn it off. This simple act can make it easier to resist the temptation to fall back asleep. Another technique is to mentally prepare yourself the night before. Set a clear intention. When my alarm rings, I will get up immediately because I value my time, and I want to start my day with discipline. The Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Each morning is a chance to reclaim those precious minutes. By waking up on time, you are not just getting out of bed. You are making a statement about how you want to live your life. When you commit to getting up without hitting snooze, you'll notice a shift in how you approach other challenges throughout the day. You'll feel more alert, more confident, and more in control. It's a small victory, but it's a powerful one. It's a way to start the day with intention, rather than letting the day happen to you. And that's what Stoicism teaches us: to live deliberately, to make choices that align with our values, and to face each day with strength and clarity. So, the next time your alarm rings, remember, that sound is not just a signal that it's time to wake up. It's an invitation to rise, to take charge of your day, and to greet the world with a mindset of resilience and focus. Accept that invitation, and watch how your mornings and your life begin to change. 3. Don't complain right away. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up and immediately started thinking about everything you had to do, the stresses that awaited you, or the things that didn't go right the day before? Did it help? Or did it just make your morning feel heavier before you even had a chance to take your first sip of coffee? This habit of complaining right away, of focusing on the negative as soon as we open our eyes, is something we all do without even realizing it. But what if I told you that this small change could set the tone for a more productive, peaceful, and fulfilling day? It might seem insignificant, but complaining first thing in the morning plants the seed for a negative mindset that can grow throughout your day. Complaints, especially those that begin before you've even left your bed, do nothing but drain your energy and make problems seem bigger than they actually are. When you wake up, your mind is a blank slate, and the way you choose to fill it in those first few minutes can make all the difference. The Stoics were clear on this. They taught that our perceptions, not external events, determine our happiness. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is a reminder that the way we react to things is a choice. And what is complaining, really? It's a reaction, an automatic one, to things we find unpleasant or challenging. But when we begin our day by grumbling about the tasks ahead, the weather, or even something as trivial as a less than perfect cup of coffee, we are surrendering that power of choice. We're letting negativity control us instead of choosing to control our outlook. Imagine starting your day in the driver's seat of your life, steering your thoughts toward gratitude, towards opportunity, and towards solutions instead of problems. Think about a great athlete or a successful entrepreneur. Do you think they wake up every morning complaining about the long hours ahead, the tough competition, or the minor inconveniences they'll face? They focus on what they can control, on the small wins that push them closer to their goals, on the things they are grateful for, because they know that energy spent complaining is energy wasted. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." By starting your day with complaints, you're choosing to react negatively before the day even begins. You're setting up a barrier between yourself and the potential of your day. But what if, instead of complaining, you started your morning by asking yourself, "What am I grateful for today?" Or, "What can I accomplish today that will make me feel proud by the end of it?" Now, I'm not saying life is always easy or that there aren't real problems that deserve attention, but what good does it do to start the day by dwelling on them? Complaining, in essence, is a passive activity. It's pointing out what's wrong without doing anything about it. And that's not how the Stoics lived. They believed in action, in doing what you can to improve your situation, and letting go of what you cannot control. So if your morning routine involves complaining about the things that are beyond your control, ask yourself, how is this helping me? Is it making me stronger, wiser, or more capable? Or is it just a habit that's holding me back? Let's make this more practical. Suppose you wake up, and your first thought is about how you have too many meetings today, or maybe how it's going to be another long commute in traffic. Those are real frustrations, no doubt. But instead of complaining, you can try shifting your perspective. Think, today, I have the chance to connect with people in these meetings and maybe learn something new. Or, this commute gives me time to listen to a podcast or audiobook that I wouldn't have time for otherwise. It's not about ignoring the challenges. It's about reframing them in a way that gives you a sense of control and purpose. One of the things that makes the Stoic approach so powerful is its practicality. The Stoics didn't just preach about high ideals. They offered real, actionable advice. Marcus Aurelius, who was an emperor dealing with constant pressure, uncertainty, and challenges, wrote to himself, "Begin each day by telling yourself, 'Today, I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil.'" He didn't wake up expecting an easy day, nor did he waste time complaining about the challenges he'd face. Instead, he prepared himself, accepted what was out of his control, and focused on what he could do. This is a practice we can all adopt. When you wake up tomorrow, instead of letting complaints be the first words on your lips, try starting with something different. Perhaps a moment of gratitude for the simple fact that you've woken up to see another day. Maybe a commitment to approach the day with patience and calm, no matter what comes your way, or even just a smile to yourself, acknowledging that while there will be challenges, there will also be opportunities. As Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. By not wasting time on complaints, you're preparing yourself to see and seize those opportunities. So let me leave you with a question. What will your first thought be tomorrow morning? Will you let it be something negative, something you can't change? Or will you take that moment to set a positive intention for the day? The choice is yours, and it's a choice you have the power to make every single morning. By deciding not to complain, you're deciding to reclaim your energy, your focus, and your day. You're choosing to act, not react, and that's how you bring Stoic wisdom into your daily life. Complaining won't make the problems go away, but taking control of your perspective can make all the difference in how you face them. So next time you feel the urge to complain, as soon as you open your eyes, pause, take a deep breath, and think, how can I face this day with strength and purpose? Because that's what living a Stoic life is all about. Embracing every day as a new opportunity to grow, to learn, and to lead with resilience and grace. 4. Don't jump out of bed in a rush. Have you ever had one of those mornings where the alarm goes off and without a second thought, you're jumping out of bed, already feeling the rush of the day's demands pressing down on you? You scramble to get ready, grab your phone, and before you know it, you're moving at a pace that feels more like sprinting through life than starting your day. But let me ask you, does this rushed beginning really set you up for success? Or does it leave you feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and stressed before your day has even begun? The truth is, the way we start our mornings has a profound impact on how the rest of our day unfolds, and when we rush out of bed, we deny ourselves the opportunity to set a calm, focused, and intentional tone for the day ahead. Stoicism, a philosophy built on the principles of discipline, mindfulness, and intentional living, has a lot to say about how we should greet each new morning. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." This isn't just poetic. It's practical advice for those seeking a better, more centered way to start their day. When you leap out of bed without taking a moment to gather yourself, you're essentially telling your mind and body to brace for a day of chaos. Think about it. By starting your day in a rush, you're already setting a frantic pace, and that sense of urgency often lingers, coloring everything you do. It's as if you've started a race without knowing the route, blindly charging ahead without any sense of direction or purpose. But mornings don't have to be this way. Instead of rushing, the Stoic way is to wake up with intention, to give yourself the time to breathe, reflect, and prepare. A few minutes of stillness in the morning can act as a buffer between the calm of sleep and the bustle of the day. It's in these quiet moments that you can take stock of your thoughts, decide what matters most, and set the tone for the day ahead. Consider how a seasoned athlete prepares for a big game. They don't rush onto the field the moment they wake up. They take their time to warm up, to stretch, to focus their mind, and to remind themselves of their goals. Why? Because they know that how they start will affect how they perform. Your mornings are no different. If you want to navigate the day's challenges with strength and clarity, you need to begin it by grounding yourself, not by stumbling through it in a hurried mess. Epictetus, another revered Stoic, advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means knowing what kind of day you want to have and then starting your morning in a way that aligns with that vision. Let's bring this into a more modern context. Many of us live busy lives filled with responsibilities, work, family, errands, and countless other commitments. It's easy to think that the only way to fit everything in is to rush from the moment you wake up. But that's a misconception. By slowing down just a little, by giving yourself a few moments of peace before the day begins, you can actually improve your productivity and mental clarity. Take a moment to breathe deeply, stretch, or even drink a glass of water and appreciate the stillness of the early morning. Instead of diving straight into emails or checking your phone, take this time for yourself. This doesn't have to mean meditating for hours. It can be as simple as sitting on the edge of your bed and taking a few deep breaths, acknowledging the new day and expressing gratitude. Seneca, another influential Stoic, once said, "Nothing, to my way of thinking, is a better proof of a well-ordered mind than a man's ability to stop just where he is and pass some time in his own company." When you allow yourself a few calm, undisturbed moments before diving into the day's demands, you're not wasting time. You're investing in a more productive and focused mindset. The world may be chaotic, but that doesn't mean your mornings have to be. In fact, taking time for yourself in the morning can help you deal with that chaos more effectively. It's the difference between being reactive and being proactive. When you rush, you're reacting to the pressures of the day. When you slow down and approach your morning with intention, you're proactively setting the terms on how you want to meet those pressures. Imagine waking up tomorrow, and instead of jumping out of bed, you take a moment to stretch and breathe, to feel the warmth of your bed, and to appreciate the quiet of the morning. How might that change the rest of your day? Perhaps you'd feel more centered, less hurried, and better prepared to handle whatever comes your way. Or maybe you'd have a moment of inspiration, a new idea, or a solution to a problem that's been on your mind. You see, clarity doesn't come when we're rushing. It comes when we allow ourselves to be still, even if just for a few moments. So the next time your alarm goes off, resist the urge to spring out of bed immediately. Instead, think of it as a gentle nudge, a reminder to take a moment for yourself before the world starts pulling you in different directions. Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense responsibilities, would remind himself every morning that he was waking up to perform the duties of a human being, not to be rushed through life, but to live it with purpose and grace. He was a man who led armies, managed an empire, and still found time to reflect and write. If he could do it, so can you. Ultimately, the lesson here is simple. Don't let your mornings become a blur of hurried activity. Let them be a time to set your intentions, to find your footing, and to prepare yourself mentally and physically for the day ahead. When you give yourself this time, you'll find that you move through the rest of your day with more ease and confidence. You'll be less reactive, more thoughtful, and better able to focus on what truly matters. Remember, well begun is half done. Aristotle may not have been a Stoic, but his wisdom rings true. A well-begun morning sets the tone for a well-lived day. So instead of leaping out of bed and rushing into the day, take your time. Let your morning be a time of calm reflection, of quiet strength, and of deliberate preparation. And watch how this small change can make a big difference in how you live each day. Thank you for being here with us in today's video. Before we move forward, I want to take a moment to express my sincere gratitude. It's truly a pleasure to have you as part of our community. Whether you've just discovered us or have been following our journey for a while, your presence means a lot. Please feel free to share your thoughts, experiences, or even just a simple comment. If you're new, you can write, "I am a newbie," or if you've been here for some time, let us know by saying, "I am Stoic." Your engagement is not just a sign of your support, it's a significant motivation that drives us to keep sharing and growing together. So shall we continue this journey together? 5. Don't forget to hydrate. Let's be honest, how often do you wake up, rush to start your day, and completely forget to drink water? You might jump straight to a cup of coffee, or maybe you just skip hydration altogether, thinking you'll get to it later. But the truth is, neglecting to hydrate first thing in the morning is one of the worst habits you can develop, especially if you're trying to live a balanced, healthy life guided by Stoic principles. Let me ask you this. If your body is like a machine, Doesn't it make sense to start your day by giving it the essential fuel it needs to run smoothly? That's exactly what water is, your body's basic, most vital fuel. After a long night of sleep, your body is dehydrated and it needs water to kickstart its systems, from digestion to brain function. Hydrating when you wake up not only helps clear out toxins, but also recharges your body, setting you up for a more focused and energetic day. In the ancient wisdom of Stoicism, there is a clear emphasis on taking care of both the mind and the body, because they are interlinked. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And part of mastering yourself is taking care of your body, making sure it's well equipped to support you through the day's challenges. By neglecting to drink water in the morning, you're not giving your body the attention it deserves, and that can affect your mood, concentration, and overall well-being. Think of it this way. If your car's tank is nearly empty, would you expect it to drive smoothly for miles? No, you'd fill it up first. Your body is no different. Hydration is essential, and starting your day without it is like expecting your car to run on fumes. Let's take a moment to think about someone successful you admire. Maybe it's a CEO, an athlete, or even a close friend who seems to always have their life together. Do you think they start their day ignoring their body's needs? Of course not. Most high-performing people have a morning routine that includes drinking water as soon as they wake up. For instance, successful entrepreneur Tim Ferriss, author of The 4-Hour Workweek, starts his day by drinking water to rehydrate and clear his mind. This simple act ensures that his body is functioning optimally, ready to face whatever the day brings. It might sound too simple to be effective, but that's the beauty of it. Sometimes the most impactful habits are the simplest. It's not about finding a miracle drink that will give you superpowers. It's about being consistent with the basics that keep your body running at its best. Now you might be wondering, why does drinking water in the morning matter so much? The reason is simple. After 6 to 8 hours of sleep, your body has gone a long time without any fluids. Your organs, muscles, and brain are craving hydration. By drinking water first thing, you're helping your body wake up, boosting your metabolism, and aiding in digestion. It's almost like hitting a refresh button. And here's something else to consider. Studies have shown that dehydration can lead to a decrease in cognitive performance, which means starting your day off without water could make you less sharp, less focused, and less productive. So, if you want to be clear-headed, alert, and ready to take on your tasks, starting the day with a glass of water is a simple but powerful habit. Think about how Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, would have approached this. Marcus emphasized the importance of routine and discipline, and he understood that small actions repeated consistently can lead to significant outcomes. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, he wrote, and what better way to ensure quality thoughts than by giving your brain the hydration it needs to function at its best. By making the conscious choice to hydrate as soon as you wake up, you're already exercising discipline, and that sets a positive tone for the rest of your day. Let's bring this into the context of modern life. We live in a fast-paced world where everyone is rushing from one task to the next, often neglecting basic self-care. But the irony is that neglecting these basics, like hydration, leads to more fatigue, less focus, and ultimately, less productivity. If you're trying to juggle work, family, and personal goals, the last thing you need is to be running on empty. A glass of water might not solve all your problems, but it's a simple way to remind yourself that your health is a priority. It's about starting the day with a clear intention, to care for your body so it can care for you. Here's a story that might help put things into perspective. There was a man who struggled with feeling tired all day. He would drink coffee to wake up, but it never seemed to be enough. One morning, he decided to change his routine slightly. Before reaching for his cup of coffee, he drank a large glass of water. To his surprise, he felt more awake, more energized, and the brain fog he usually experienced was less intense. He realized that he had been dehydrated, and the coffee, though it gave him a temporary boost, wasn't addressing the root cause of his fatigue. This simple shift, drinking water first, became a new habit, and it changed how he felt throughout the day. So, what about you? Have you been underestimating the power of hydration? The next time you wake up, make it a point to drink a glass of water before doing anything else. Notice how it makes you feel, how it refreshes your mind and body. It's a small act, but it can have a profound effect on your energy levels, your mood, and your overall health. This simple habit aligns perfectly with Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes taking control of what you can and letting go of what you cannot. You may not be able to control the stressors you'll face later in the day, but you can control how you start your morning. The lesson here is clear. Don't neglect the basics. If you want to live a Stoic life, grounded in wisdom and resilience, you need to start by taking care of yourself. And that starts with hydration. It's a straightforward, effective way to show respect to your body, to prepare your mind for the challenges of the day, and to set a tone of mindfulness and self-care. As Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Preparing your body in the morning by staying hydrated means you're better prepared for whatever the day has in store. So make that glass of water your morning ritual and see how it transforms your day. By taking care of this small but essential need, you're not just quenching your thirst, you're nurturing a mindset that values discipline, care, and intentional living. 6. Don't skip breakfast. Let's be real for a moment. How many times have you skipped breakfast, convincing yourself that you'll grab something later or that you're too busy to sit down and eat in the morning? Maybe you tell yourself that skipping a meal here and there isn't a big deal, but let me ask you, does starting your day on an empty stomach truly set you up for success? Breakfast is often called the most important meal of the day for a reason, and while it may sound like a cliché, there's a lot of truth to it. Your body has gone hours without food during sleep, and when you skip breakfast, you're denying yourself the essential nutrients that help kickstart your metabolism, fuel your brain, and provide the energy you need to take on the day's tasks. In Stoic philosophy, there's a strong emphasis on discipline, preparedness, and taking care of oneself. And this applies to how we fuel our bodies, just as much as how we train our minds. Epictetus wisely advised, "We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control?" Skipping breakfast is very much within your control, and choosing to nourish your body in the morning is a conscious step toward setting up your day with strength and clarity. When you skip breakfast, it's not just your stomach that feels the absence. You're also impacting your mood, your ability to concentrate, and even your physical stamina. Think of your body as a machine. If you expect it to run smoothly, you need to give it the right fuel. Yet many people treat breakfast as an option rather than a necessity, grabbing a quick coffee or rushing out the door without a second thought. But would you expect your car to drive far on an empty tank? Of course not. Your body operates on the same principle. It needs a balanced mix of nutrients, proteins, carbs, healthy fats, to function at its best. When you start your day by skipping breakfast, you're more likely to experience mood swings, lower energy levels, and even reduced cognitive function. Studies have shown that people who eat breakfast tend to have better concentration, improved memory, and a higher ability to manage stress. Doesn't it make sense to start your day off right by giving your body what it needs to perform well? Let's take a page from Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reminded himself to begin each day with intention and purpose, to act in a way that aligns with his principles. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. He wrote, "Part of appreciating the morning is treating your body with the care it deserves, and that begins with nourishing it properly." Skipping breakfast is not a small, inconsequential act. It's a habit that sets a tone of neglect rather than care. If you want to start your day with discipline, if you want to be mentally and physically prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead, you need to fuel yourself adequately. That bowl of oatmeal, a protein-rich smoothie, or even a simple piece of toast with avocado, These small choices can have a big impact on your overall well-being and how you navigate your day. Think about it. How often do you find yourself feeling irritable, distracted, or just plain tired halfway through the morning? And how often have you connected that feeling to not eating breakfast? For many, the answer is all too often. Yet we live in a fast-paced world where it's easy to sacrifice breakfast in the rush to get to work, to handle kids, or to start ticking off the to-do list. But sacrificing breakfast is sacrificing the fuel that keeps you steady, clear-headed, and focused. Instead of pushing through on an empty stomach, take a moment to pause and consider how much better your day would be if you started it with a proper meal. A small act of preparation, like setting out what you plan to eat in the morning the night before, can make all the difference. There's also a modern example that brings this concept home. Many athletes, CEOs, and high performers, people who are at the top of their fields, make breakfast a non-negotiable part of their routine. Take LeBron James, for instance. He's known for his strict regimen, which includes a well-balanced breakfast that fuels his performance on the court. Or consider Tim Cook, the CEO of Apple, who is often up at the crack of dawn, but never skips his morning meal. It's not just about the food, it's about setting a precedent for the day. It's about telling your body, I value you, and I'm going to take care of you. If these high achievers who have packed schedules and demanding responsibilities can find the time to prioritize breakfast, then so can you. Skipping breakfast might seem like a time saver, but in reality, it can cost you more in the long run. You're more likely to overeat later, to choose unhealthy snacks, and to experience energy crashes that make your day harder than it needs to be. Why not start the day by setting yourself up for success instead? The Stoics teach us to act with foresight and wisdom, to understand that our actions today lay the groundwork for our future selves. When you choose to eat breakfast, you're not just making a meal, you're making a statement. You're saying that you want to approach the day with strength, resilience, and clarity, and that begins by fueling your body and mind. Seneca once said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Preparing yourself properly in the morning by eating a nutritious breakfast is part of that preparation. It's a small but powerful way to take control of your day, to ensure that when opportunities come, you're alert, present, and ready to seize them. After all, how can you expect to think clearly, to make good decisions, or to deal with challenges if you're running on empty? So, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, take a moment to think about how you're starting your day. Are you grabbing your keys and rushing out the door without a second thought? Or are you making the conscious choice to sit down, even for just a few minutes, to eat something nourishing? What will you gain from choosing not to skip breakfast? Better focus, more energy, and a steadier mood throughout the day. What will you lose if you continue to skip it? The answer is more than just a meal. It's the opportunity to start your day on the right foot, to set a foundation of care and intention that will carry you through the hours ahead. In the end, the choice is yours. You have control over how you begin your day, and that means you have the power to start it with a sense of strength, purpose, and well-being. The next time you're tempted to skip breakfast, remember the wisdom of the Stoics, who understood the importance of preparing for each day with discipline and mindfulness. Take a few extra minutes to fuel your body, to set the tone for a productive, positive day, and see how it changes not just your morning, but your entire outlook. Because if you can take care of this one simple act, you'll find it much easier to handle whatever challenges the day brings. And that's the essence of living a Stoic life, mastering the small things, so you can master the big ones. 7. Don't start the day without a plan. Let me start by asking you a simple question. How do you begin your day? Do you wake up, grab your phone, and start reacting to whatever messages, notifications, or emails come your way? Or do you wake up with a clear idea of what you want to achieve? A plan that guides you through the day's tasks, helping you to stay focused and calm, even when things get hectic? Starting your day without a plan is like setting out on a journey without a map. You may still get somewhere, but chances are it won't be where you intended to go, and the road will be far more challenging than it needs to be. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This means that without a clear direction, even the best opportunities can be wasted because you aren't prepared to take advantage of them. Planning isn't just about productivity. It's about taking control of your life, making deliberate choices instead of simply reacting to what the world throws at you. A lot of people think that having a plan makes life rigid and boring, but in reality, the opposite is true. When you have a plan, you free up mental space because you're not constantly trying to figure out what to do next. Instead, you can move through your day with purpose, knowing that you've already decided how to spend your time and energy. This doesn't mean you have to plan every minute of your day down to the second. Even a simple to-do list with your top 3 priorities can give you the focus you need to tackle the day effectively. Without a plan, you're more likely to get distracted, spend too much time on things that don't matter, and end up feeling like you've accomplished nothing by the end of the day. Think about it. How often have you reached the end of your day only to wonder where the time went, frustrated by how little you achieved? Now consider how different it feels on the days when you know exactly what you need to do, and you can check off those tasks one by one. There's a sense of accomplishment, of control, and even peace because you've made progress, however small, towards your goals. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to be pulled in 100 different directions the moment you wake up. Emails, social media, news headlines. There's always something demanding your attention. But when you start your day without a plan, you end up reacting to these distractions rather than setting your own priorities. You let external factors dictate your focus, and before you know it, your morning is gone, and you haven't even started on the things that truly matter. This is why planning your day is not just a tool for organization, but a practice of discipline. It's about deciding what deserves your attention and what doesn't, about being proactive rather than reactive. Epictetus, another Stoic philosopher, said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." In the same way, productivity isn't about doing 100 things, it's about doing a few things well. By planning your day, you identify those key tasks that will make the biggest difference, and you give yourself the freedom to focus on them without getting lost in trivial matters. Let's think about this in the context of modern life. Many successful people, from athletes to entrepreneurs, swear by the power of a morning routine that includes planning. For instance, former Navy SEAL and leadership coach Jocko Willink talks about how he wakes up early every day to plan his priorities before the rest of the world is awake. He's not doing it to make his life more complicated. He's doing it to make his life simpler. By knowing what his main goals are, he can tackle them head-on without wasting time. Another example is billionaire investor Warren Buffett, who is known for his ability to focus on just a few key tasks each day. He famously advises, "The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything." Planning your day allows you to say no to distractions because you've already decided what's important. So how can you incorporate planning into your morning routine? It doesn't have to be complicated. Start by setting aside just 5 to 10 minutes each morning, or even the night before, to think about what you want to accomplish. Write down your top 3 priorities, the things that, if done, would make you feel successful at the end of the day. These can be work-related tasks, personal goals, or even small actions that bring you closer to long-term dreams. You might be surprised by how powerful this simple act can be. Suddenly, you're not just waking up and reacting to the day's chaos. You're stepping into your morning with a sense of direction. And if something unexpected comes up, you'll be better equipped to handle it because you know what you're working towards. The Stoics believed that life is unpredictable and that many things are beyond our control, but they also taught that we should always focus on what we can control. The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control, wrote Epictetus. Planning your day is a way of taking control over what you can. of setting yourself up for success by making deliberate choices about how you spend your time. It's a form of preparation, and as Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. When you plan your day, you're not just preparing for what you know you need to do. You're also positioning yourself to seize opportunities when they arise. The message is simple. Don't start your day without a plan. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to cover every detail. What matters is that you give yourself a sense of purpose, a roadmap that guides you through your day with intention. Without it, you're more likely to drift, to let your time slip away without really knowing where it went. But with a plan, even if it's just a rough outline, you can navigate your day with clarity, confidence, and a sense of control. And that's what Stoicism is all about. Living a life that is deliberate, thoughtful, and true to your values. So tomorrow, take a few minutes to decide how you want your day to go. Think about what really matters to you and make that your focus. The rest will follow, and you'll find that the days where you plan are the days where you feel the most fulfilled. Because ultimately, planning isn't just about getting things done. It's about living with purpose, and that's a life well lived. 8. Don't allow negative thoughts. Allowing negative thoughts to take over when you wake up is like letting a dark cloud hang over your entire morning, and it can affect everything you do. We often underestimate the power of our thoughts, but in truth, they shape our reality more than we realize. The Stoics understood this very well, which is why they emphasized controlling your mindset. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This isn't just about being optimistic. It's about recognizing that the thoughts you entertain in the morning have the power to influence your mood, your actions, and even your interactions with others throughout the day. So, if you want to start your day on a strong, positive note, it's crucial to learn how to manage and redirect those early morning negative thoughts. It's easy to wake up and immediately start thinking about everything that could go wrong. Maybe you're worried about a presentation at work, stressed about finances, or anxious about a conversation you had the day before. These thoughts can spiral quickly, leaving you feeling drained before you've even had your first cup of coffee. But the key isn't to pretend those concerns don't exist. It's to confront them with a clear, calm mind. The Stoic approach encourages us to acknowledge our worries without letting them control us. "We suffer more in imagination than in reality," said Seneca, reminding us that our minds can often make situations seem worse than they really are. The first step to managing negative thoughts in the morning is to recognize them for what they are: thoughts, not facts. Just because a thought pops into your head doesn't mean it's true, and it certainly doesn't mean it has to dictate how you feel. Think about someone who wakes up feeling anxious about a big meeting. Instead of letting that anxiety consume the morning, a Stoic would take a step back and ask, "What can I control about this situation, and what is beyond my control?" By focusing on what they can prepare for, like practicing their presentation or making sure they have all the necessary materials, they can shift their mindset from fear to action. This approach can make a huge difference, not just in how the meeting goes, but in how they feel throughout the entire day. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That means you have the power to decide how you respond to your thoughts, even if you can't always control what pops into your head. Let's put this into the context of modern life. We live in a world where we are constantly bombarded by information, much of it negative. News headlines, social media posts, emails. It's all too easy to wake up and immediately start worrying about things that are often beyond our control. This habit can set a negative tone for the entire day, but the good news is you can change this pattern. Start by giving yourself a few moments of peace when you wake up. Instead of reaching for your phone or letting your mind jump straight to everything that could go wrong, take a moment to breathe deeply. Consider beginning your morning with a short meditation or even a simple gratitude practice where you list a few things you're thankful for. This small act can help shift your focus away from what's troubling you and toward what's uplifting. It's a way to remind yourself that no matter what challenges you face, there are still positive aspects of your life worth acknowledging. For example, consider a successful entrepreneur who has a strict morning routine. Every morning before diving into his schedule, he takes a few minutes to meditate and set his intentions for the day. He understands that his thoughts can influence his decisions, his interactions, and even his mood, so he makes a deliberate effort to start the day with clarity and positivity. This doesn't mean he ignores problems or pretends they don't exist. Instead, he prepares himself to face them calmly and thoughtfully. He often reflects on the words of Marcus Aurelius. "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's a reminder that while he can't always control what happens, he can control how he thinks about it, and that gives him the power to navigate his day with confidence. If you find that negative thoughts are a regular part of your morning, try to understand where they are coming from. Are they based on something specific, or are they just a general feeling of anxiety? Once you can identify the source, it becomes easier to address. For instance, if you're stressed about a long to-do list, take a moment to prioritize what needs to be done and create a plan. If your negative thoughts are more abstract, such as a sense of dread or fear, try reframing them. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could happen and how would I handle it? You might find that the situation isn't as dire as your mind is making it out to be, and this exercise can help to diminish the power of those thoughts. At the end of the day, it's about creating a mental environment that supports you rather than undermines you. Think of your mind as a garden. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they will choke out everything else. But if you take care to nurture positive, healthy thoughts, you'll find that they start to flourish, even if there are a few weeds here and there. A Stoic approach doesn't mean you force yourself to think happy thoughts all the time, but it does mean cultivating a mindset that's grounded in reality and focused on what you can do rather than what you fear. So, what's the lesson here? Don't let negative thoughts dictate how your day begins. When you wake up, take charge of your mindset by acknowledging your thoughts without letting them run wild. Remember the words of Epictetus. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. By focusing on what you can manage, your actions, your responses, your perspective, you regain the power to shape your day, your mood, and ultimately, your life. The next time you wake up and feel the pull of negativity, stop and ask yourself, is this thought helping me, or is it holding me back? Challenge it, reframe it, and choose to start your day with strength and purpose. Because in the end, it's not just about having a positive mindset. It's about building resilience, a core tenet of Stoicism that helps you face life's ups and downs without losing your sense of inner peace. By learning to navigate your thoughts with intention, you give yourself the best possible start to each day, no matter what challenges lie ahead. If you've made it this far, you're embracing the path of true Stoic strength. Drop a comment saying, "I am ready for change," to show you're committed to transforming your mornings and your mindset. Stick around because the journey to a more balanced life is more to discover. 9. Don't neglect your body. How often do you wake up, dive straight into your daily routine, and forget to check in with your body? In today's fast-paced world, it's all too easy to neglect the physical vessel that carries us through life. But let me ask you, how can you expect to tackle the day's challenges if you don't take a moment to prepare and strengthen your body first? Neglecting your physical health is like trying to drive a car on an empty tank. It might get you a few miles down the road, but eventually you're going to stall. The Stoics, with their emphasis on discipline, balance, and resilience, knew that caring for the body was just as important as nurturing the mind. As Seneca once said, "It is part of the cure to wish to be cured." In other words, taking action to care for yourself is the first step in living a full, productive life. When you wake up, your body has just rested and repaired itself all night. This is the perfect time to give it what it needs to function optimally throughout the day, whether it's through stretching, exercise, or even just a few minutes of mindful breathing. Physical health isn't just about looking fit. It's about how you feel, how you move, and how you think. If you don't take care of your body, you might find yourself dragging through the day, feeling sluggish and unable to focus. This affects everything: your mood, your productivity, and even your interactions with others. Think about it. How many times have you felt irritable or struggled to concentrate simply because you were tired or in discomfort? Starting your day with even a small act of physical care can make a huge difference. Whether it's a quick workout, a walk around the block, or just stretching your muscles, these actions send a message to your brain that you're ready to take on the day. And it's not just about the immediate benefits. Consistent attention to your physical health builds resilience, making you stronger and more capable over time. Let's bring this into a more relatable context. Consider athletes who treat their bodies with the utmost respect. They understand that their physical state directly impacts their performance, and they plan their mornings around preparing their bodies for the day. Even if you're not training for a marathon, you're still in training for life, dealing with all kinds of physical and mental challenges. So why wouldn't you take a few minutes each morning to ensure your body is ready? Think of it as sharpening your tools before you start your work. If your tools are dull, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, you're going to struggle. The Stoics believed in simplicity, and caring for your body doesn't have to be complicated. Simple acts like stretching, drinking water, and taking deep breaths are enough to energize your muscles and wake up your senses. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "You must build up your life action by action, and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible." This principle applies to how we care for our bodies. It's not about making drastic changes overnight. It's about small, consistent actions that build towards a healthier, stronger you. Starting your day with these small actions shows discipline, and discipline is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. It's the ability to do what is necessary, even when you don't feel like it. When you take care of your body first thing in the morning, you're practicing discipline and preparing yourself mentally and physically for whatever the day may bring. Think about a time when you were able to perform at your best. Maybe it was at work, in a sport, or even just handling a particularly challenging day. Chances are, you felt good physically, with a clear mind and the energy to tackle whatever was in front of you. Now compare that to a day when you felt drained, sore, or exhausted. The difference is night and day. Our physical condition has a profound effect on our mental state, and by neglecting our bodies, we're setting ourselves up for unnecessary struggle. It doesn't mean you need to adopt a rigorous workout routine. It just means you should make an effort to care for your physical health. That might be a few stretches to loosen up your muscles, some gentle yoga, or even a short morning jog to get your blood pumping. The point is to make it a habit, because consistency is where real progress happens. For example, consider how a busy professional like Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, manages his mornings. He's known for waking up early and hitting the gym, not because he has extra time to spare, but because he understands that maintaining his physical health is crucial to managing the high demands of his job. He knows that without the energy and focus that comes from a healthy body, he wouldn't be able to lead effectively. This isn't just about fitness. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to succeed. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor, wrote Seneca. This applies to our physical health as well. Appreciate the strength you have and work to maintain it, rather than neglecting it in pursuit of something else. So, what can you do to avoid neglecting your body? Start simple. Begin your morning with a few minutes of stretching to release any tension that built up during the night. Drink a glass of water to hydrate and wake up your system. Consider going for a walk outside to breathe in some fresh air and get your heart rate up. These are small steps, but they set the tone for a more energized, productive, and positive day. And as the Stoics teach, it's the small, daily actions that make the biggest difference over time. By making a habit of taking care of your body, you're not just improving your physical health, you're also building discipline, focus, and resilience, qualities that will help you in every area of your life. The lesson here is clear. Don't neglect your body, especially not in the morning. The Stoics believed in preparing for life's challenges by cultivating strength both mentally and physically, and you can't do that if you're constantly running on empty. Your body is your foundation, and if that foundation is weak, everything else will be unstable. The next time you wake up, think of your body as a tool that needs to be sharpened. Give it what it needs: movement, hydration, care, and see how much better your day unfolds. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." Taking care of your body might not show immediate dramatic results, but with time, those small efforts add up to something powerful. So, as you prepare for the day, remember to respect and care for your body. It's not about perfection, it's about making a consistent effort. Even if it's just a few stretches, a glass of water, or a short walk. These actions tell your body, "I'm ready for the day, and I'm taking care of you." And in return, your body will give you the energy, clarity, and resilience you need to face whatever comes your way. Because when you start your day by taking care of yourself, you're not just setting up a healthy routine, you're setting yourself up for success. And that's the Stoic way, living with intention, balance, and strength starting from the moment you wake up. 10. Don't skip your morning reflection. The last most powerful habits you can develop is morning reflection, a simple but profound practice that can change how you navigate the day. Skipping this moment of introspection is like setting sail without a map. You might still make it to your destination, but the journey will likely be far more chaotic and uncertain than it needs to be. The Stoic philosophers understood this well. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic thinkers and a Roman emperor, would spend his mornings contemplating his day, preparing his mind for whatever might come. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. He wrote, "This wasn't just an exercise in gratitude. It was a way of priming himself to meet the day with calm and purpose, no matter what challenges awaited him." Reflecting in the morning is about taking a few moments to align your mind, to remind yourself of your goals, values, and the mindset you want to carry through the day. When you skip this, you leave yourself vulnerable to being swept up by distractions, stress, and the demands of others. Think about it. How often do you find yourself reacting to situations rather than responding to them thoughtfully? A morning reflection gives you the opportunity to set intentions, to decide what kind of day you want to have, and to remind yourself of what truly matters. It's a way of taking control, even if everything else seems out of your control. For example, if you know you have a challenging meeting ahead, reflecting on how you want to handle it can make a big difference. Instead of walking in anxious and defensive, you can enter the room with a clear, calm mindset, prepared to listen, speak thoughtfully, and keep your emotions in check. Let's bring this concept into a more modern context. Many successful people swear by their morning routines, and a key part of that routine often involves some form of reflection. Consider the habits of Oprah Winfrey, who starts her day with 20 minutes of meditation, or billionaire investor Ray Dalio, who spends time every morning reflecting on his goals and mindset. They're not just doing this because it sounds nice. They understand that starting the day with a moment of stillness and focus can shape everything that follows. It's a small investment of time that pays huge dividends throughout the day. But you don't have to be a billionaire to benefit from this practice. Even a few minutes of quiet reflection, where you think about what you want to achieve and how you want to conduct yourself, can have a transformative effect on your day. Marcus Aurelius would often remind himself of the unpredictable nature of life. He would prepare his mind to meet people who might be rude, unkind, or challenging, not because he expected the worst, but because he knew that being prepared would help him maintain his composure and keep his focus. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil," he advised. This wasn't a pessimistic outlook, but a realistic one. By mentally preparing for potential obstacles, he was less likely to be thrown off balance when they occurred. This kind of mental preparation is something we can all practice. By taking a few moments in the morning to think about what challenges you might face and how you want to handle them, you can navigate your day with greater poise and confidence. Consider this. In today's fast-paced world, most of us wake up and immediately reach for our phones, scrolling through emails, news, and social media. But what if, instead of starting your day reacting to the outside world, you took a few moments to reflect on your own thoughts, feelings, and intentions? What if, before you allowed the noise of the day to rush in, you gave yourself a few minutes of quiet to center yourself? This is not about ignoring reality, but about preparing yourself to face it with clarity. When you skip morning reflection, you skip the chance to set your course. You leave yourself open to being reactive rather than proactive, constantly responding to whatever comes your way instead of guiding your actions with purpose. Imagine a captain steering a ship without checking the weather or planning the route. He might get lucky and sail through calm waters, but more often than not, he'll find himself struggling against unexpected storms, unable to navigate effectively because he hasn't taken the time to prepare. Morning reflection is your chance to be that captain, to check your internal weather, to understand your emotions, your fears, and your goals, and to plan how you're going to navigate the day. This practice can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. You might spend 5 minutes sitting quietly, thinking about what you're grateful for, or you could write down your main goals for the day and the mindset you want to maintain. The point is, to take control of those first moments after you wake up, to use them to center yourself before the world starts making demands of you. Reflecting on what you're thankful for, even the small things, can shift your mindset from one of scarcity to one of abundance. When you start the day with gratitude, you're more likely to approach your tasks and interactions with a positive, open attitude. And don't think this is just about motivation. There's science behind it too. Studies have shown that people who start their day with a moment of gratitude and reflection are more likely to be productive, less likely to be stressed, and generally happier throughout the day. It makes sense when you think about it. If you begin your day by setting a clear intention, you're more focused on what you need to do, less likely to be distracted, and better able to handle challenges as they arise. It's like building a mental fortress that keeps you steady, no matter what's happening around you. So what's the lesson here? Don't skip your morning reflection. Don't let the day dictate how you feel and act. Instead, take a few minutes when you wake up to reflect on your thoughts, your goals, and your intentions. Think about the kind of day you want to have, and prepare yourself mentally for whatever challenges might come. Remember the words of Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By deciding who you want to be and how you want to act, you're setting a strong foundation for the rest of your day. Next time your alarm goes off, resist the urge to jump straight into action. Take a few deep breaths, sit up, and spend a moment reflecting. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish today? How do I want to treat the people I encounter? What kind of mindset do I want to carry with me? These are simple questions, but they can make a huge difference. Because when you start your day with a sense of direction, with a plan for how you want to face the world, you're not just surviving, you're living with purpose. And that's the essence of Stoicism, the wisdom of knowing what you can control and focusing your energy on making the most of it. So don't skip your morning reflection. Give yourself the gift of a few minutes of clarity, and watch how it transforms not just your day but your life, but your... In conclusion, our mornings are more than just a routine. They are the foundation upon which we build our entire day. By applying Stoic principles to your morning habits, you can take control of your mindset, set a clear direction, and prepare yourself to face the day with strength and purpose. Whether it's resisting the urge to check your phone, taking a few minutes for gratitude, or reflecting on your goals, these small but powerful actions can lead to meaningful changes in how you live each day. Each morning is a new opportunity to grow, to act with intention, and to meet challenges with calm and resilience. So, as you go forward, ask yourself, how will you start your day tomorrow? Will you rush through it, or will you take a moment to set the tone for success and peace? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let us know how you plan to integrate these Stoic habits into your routine. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Remember, the way you start your morning can change everything. Make it count.